From the back and I'm pulling your shit. I had some smoke in the city, I wanted to see it, but baby, I couldn't just dip. You know the time when we on, my niggas start lurking and tying their hoodies and shit. Soon as this shit get resolved, I'll turn the librarian for you, I'm booking that shit. Let's do it. Regular, I love you, let's do it. Showed enough love to the city, I promise, so let's get the fuck out St. Louis. Maybe we go to St. Lucia, I've been there so I'll introduce you. Or maybe you go to St. Martin with me if these niggas take break and quit starting with me. Maybe we go to St. Kitts, if you and your BD are calling it splits. And maybe we call it an accident, you slip, you trip, you follow my...
Around a month or so ago, I heard about the concept called productivity debt. Now, this isn't monetary debt, but rather debt in terms of how productive you've been over a given period of time. For instance, do you often have the feeling that you can't really do anything without listening to a podcast, without being productive? You can't really enjoy yourself before you feel like you've earned it by doing something that is productive during that day. If so, then you're not alone. Turns out a lot of people have it. It's this continuous, never-ending feeling that you actually have to do something, you have to produce something, you have to have some form of output before you're actually a productive member of society and can relax a little bit. We're constantly surrounded and exposed to people doing incredible amounts of work. They're doing really cool things. They're telling you how productive you gotta be. And now I'm not completely ignorant to the fact that I'm a huge contributor in this. I show on YouTube how much I work, how much stuff I do, how what's going well. I show on Instagram. So I'm definitely one of the people who are partly to blame for this. But is it all bad? But back to productivity debt. It's this feeling that we wake up each morning thinking that we have a debt that we need to fulfill with different levels of productivity. So before I can enjoy myself and call this a productive day, i.e. be happy with myself, I have to do this, and that. And that is why, for example, I stress getting to inbox 0. I have a task list with my needle moving tasks. I run this business here. I have made my own bag with too much stock to know what to do of. I'm working on building 2 apps at the same time. And I stress making YouTube videos every week for the couple of hundred people who enjoy watching these. As you can see, it's a lot of stuff, and I haven't really figured out if this is gonna be good for me in the long term, if this is gonna be, you know, just throwing as much spaghetti at the wall, whatever, and seeing what sticks, or if this is just gonna turn out to be a complete burnout and not work out at all. That's yet to see. But what I do know is that I relate incredibly to this productivity debt feeling of feeling a sort of debt to yourself when you wake up thinking I need to do this and I need to do that before I can relax, before I can take it easy and be good to myself whatsoever. Now, this productivity debt feeling doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. For instance, if it can motivate someone to start going to the gym or start being more productive in general in their life, I'm all for it. For instance, by the way, have you noticed how a whole day has passed in a couple of minutes on this video? Pretty cool. For instance, if you're feeling productivity debt in the sense that you're waking up and you feel like, okay, today I gotta get this done. I gotta go to the gym, I gotta do my work, and that's it, and I'm happy. That's a healthy level. That's where it's good for you. And I would argue everyone probably needs a little bit of that in their life to be a productive member of society. However, the whole idea of productivity debt is that there's a certain point at which it becomes bad, unhealthy, and negative. I'm not entirely sure which category I would place myself in, the healthy or the unhealthy. And I've come to the conclusion that, like any type of debt, there's both good debt and bad debt. For instance, in the real world, one may consider a mortgage, for example, to be good debt, whereas debt on consumer items such as, you know, soap wouldn't be a particularly good type of debt. And I think productivity debt works a little bit in the same way. For example, if this productivity debt is felt towards something which is not something that you like, maybe it's a 9-to-5 job that you hate and you just feel like I need to get the stuff done, otherwise I'm not valuable, I don't have any value, then I would argue it's bad. It's horribly bad. However, for most of my stuff, it's actually things that I do like doing. It's stuff that I enjoy. Not necessarily anything which I always get massive joy out of or massive feelings of productivity out of, but mostly the things that I work on are things that I like doing and things that I choose to do. I think that the feeling of going to bed thinking that you've both been not productive enough and also that you're spending your time working on something that you don't really enjoy, I think that's the bad, dangerous combination. So if you're someone who's feeling this, that's probably when you need to take a look at yourself and go, are these feelings towards something that I actually like doing and that I want to be doing, or am I feeling pressured by something or someone else to have this feeling that I need to do certain things in order to feel as if I have value? If not, the answer should be pretty clear. If you don't feel like it's something that has value, if it's not something that you want to do, then obviously you're doing it for someone else. You're pressured by your contemporary social situation, you're pressured by a company, by an employee, by a friend, a spouse, whatever. And you need to reevaluate how you're approaching your mindset in regards to what you have to do during a day to feel productive, to feel valuable, and reframe that in the context of what do I like to do, what do I want to do, and where do I want to head with my life. Because if you're having these feelings towards something else, then you're doing this for someone else, and you're not heading in the direction which you're steering. You're merely a passenger on a ship that someone else is steering in regards to the direction you want to take, how you spend your time, and therefore ultimately where you end up in life. A very philosophical topic perhaps, but I think, and I hope you can understand where I'm going with. I would argue that this feeling of productivity debt is negative when it's for something that you don't particularly enjoy doing, and it's not something that you choose to do by yourself. And now, this is not to say that I have periods and moments where my behavior and my productivity debt is definitely unhealthy, because it can be. There are days where I come home and I'm like, I worked all day, I haven't really gotten as much as I wanted done, so I feel like, okay, shit, what have I done today? There was no point of me being around doing all this stuff today. I didn't provide any value for myself or anyone else whatsoever. And of course that is negative too, and I'm working on, and I've become more conscious of reframing that in the context that I've just talked about previously. But now that is it about this talk about productivity debt. I think it's quite an interesting topic, and I'm just starting to explore it and understand it. If you're struggling with these types of feelings, like I am sometimes, I think it was good for me to just like get a name put on it, get a situation of someone else having this, and that's why I thought it was relevant to talk about it in this video. If you're dealing with this, or if you have similar feelings, it doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but let me know what your thoughts are, how you deal with it, and what you think about my my conclusions here. Now we're in the car because we're heading to city to meet one of my long-term, or relatively long-term contacts, to speak about he wants to develop an app. He's quite interested in the, or he has is part of a restaurant chain. I'm not sure if it's a chain or just a one-off location, and just a cool, interesting guy in general. Has a lot on his plate, interesting stuff we could learn from each other. So we're just meeting up for dinner and having a quick chat. So now we're heading into Medborgarplatsen, which is one of the central locations in the south of Stockholm. Let's go.
BBL Drizzy, they want a new body, they asked me for it. The last one, John, he did it for free, cause I sent over so many past ones for him, but red. Don't even worry about all of that shit, just keep it natural for him, I swear. I got a passion for you, I swear. I got attraction for you, I swear. Yeah, you think I'm a bachelor girl, but I...
Meeting done, 8:30, time to head home. Okay, so here we are back in the office after quite a long day. It's 10:22. I got a little bit sidetracked there, but for the last hour or so. But it's been a pretty full day and a lot of fun. Now I'm going to show you what I've been working on today when I wasn't talking about all this productivity debt and all that deep kind of stuff. So this is something that I did in the afternoon, and this is my, not obsession would be an exaggeration, but it's my latest hobby, interest, whatever you want to call it. And that is 3D printing. So first of all, I'm gonna be purchasing one or two of these Bambu Labs printers. I'm deciding between the P1S and the P1P. We'll see. I'm going on vacation next week, and I'm gonna purchase one after, so I have some time to think about it. But what we're gonna sell is random stuff, like some arbors related, some chainsaw related, some gardening related, and just some general stuff that's like not super expensive, but pricey when you buy it from a manufacturer, but with like simple additive manufacturing methods like 3D printing, you can get the price down quite significantly. So this is the Shopify site that I built during the afternoon today. It has like a nice landing page with some gear, and then some, you know, just a category of different stuff. And here we can see there's a couple of different things. So for example, you can press arborist accessories, and then now that's just one product, or chainsaw accessories, and then you can see these things. I need to translate all this to Swedish, and we can add to basket, and then when we have our basket here, we can go to the checkout. And now I've set everything up except for, no, I think I've even set the payments up. So all that I gotta do now is get the 3D printer and start getting the products, and we're pretty much ready to start it. It's just a product thing. The whole platform is set up. So that's what I was working on today. A little bit random, a little bit fun. I'm thinking that it's gonna be like a 3D print farm type of thing, something that's relatively passive and done in conjunction with Arborist Predikan, but we'll see how all that develops. But now we're gonna call it an end for today. I hope you like the talk about productivity debt, and if you're feeling the same type of way, if you're having those types of thoughts, it's just good and fun and interesting to have someone put a name to it. That's what happened to me. If you're having other tips and ideas in regards to that, feel free to leave that down below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.